Boom. You're on. Go for it.
I was going to say good afternoon, but I have no idea what time you're listening to this. So I will just say hello and welcome to episode number 2 of Serial Keller. I am your host, Steve Keller.
And you just said number 2.
And with me, as always, is the classy Mr. E.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing pretty good. What are we doing today?
We are talking with, where is that?
Oh, I'm just getting some silverware, heating up a Hot Pocket.
Okay. We will be talking with the headliner of the 2021 Space Coast Music Festival, happening Saturday, November 6th, and the noises continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, don't mind me. It's ham and cheese, delicious.
I thought it sounded like a truck backing up.
Okay, it could have been that.
And actually, that's a good segue because our talk with Kristen Warren took place outside, actually on the stage of the band Shell at the Space Coast Music Festival with all the sights and sounds.
Hey, can you hold on a
around
moment?
it.
I have to jackhammer this slab of concrete. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
So through all the distractions of O'Galley Arts District, we did talk with Kristen Warren. We're going to bring that talk to you today. And of course, all of this leads to the Space Coast Music Festival presented by Harbor City Local, Fleegad Market, FM Pizza, Against the Grain Tattoo, as well as a whole bunch of others for the music festival.
May I interject?
Of course.
Okay. Just so you know what that was. That was my sarcastic commentary on your last interview.
With Tommy
Craig,
episode 1.
Yeah, it's called Growing Pains. So I will cease and desist from jackhammering if you will cease and desist from doing your interviews in a laundromat or whatever happened last time.
Hey man, we got to catch these rock stars when they're available.
Yeah,
That's, point taken.
Yeah,
point taken.
Okay.
And we thank you for listening. We thank you for pulling up Serial Keller as we are weeks away from the Space Coast Music Festival. Are you getting excited?
Oh, no, it's just cold in here.
But that's what we need. We need my drum set as far as
you didn't bring
background noise. No, not today.
Well,
but I will have my drum set with me, as
yes.
a matter of fact, on Saturday, November 6th.
Why?
My band, Best Supporting Actor, will be taking the stage, followed by DL Sirius, which I also play drums for. So you get two helpings of Keller back to back that day. What we're going to do, actually, as information comes out, we will go over the stage listings. There are 6 stages for the music festival altogether. There's over 80 bands performing this year, which is up from 68 bands in 2019. So somewhere along the way in the pandemic, a whole bunch of bands came together, and they're going to be performing.
Well, as everyone was hiding in their garage, they just
they picked up a guitar in the process, right, and started making music. So it's definitely a good thing. It's a great thing for you guys because it is absolutely free, although there is plenty of stuff to purchase, to consume, to eat. That's going to be a really good day for us on Saturday, November 6th. Space Coast Music Festival. And again, when we come back, we will listen to my interview with Kristen Warren. So stick around. All right, we are back. It is week 2, episode 2 of Serial Keller. I'm your host, Steve Keller, from Brevard Live Magazine. Give a shout out to Brevard Live Magazine on newsstands now. And when you pick up an issue of the magazine, you'll see my guest on the cover, which is one of the highlights of my time at the magazine. Joining us today for the conversation is the headliner of the 2021 Space Coast Music Festival, which we'll talk about in length. But joining us today is Kristen Warren. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. This is so awesome.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. Basically, what this series is, the next 5 weeks, is an infomercial for the music festival. You were part of the 2019 Music Festival. Kind of give me an idea of how that was. That was a very busy day for you.
Yes, it was. That was crazy. But it's like the type of busy that I think every musician wants to be, right? We all want to be that busy with what we love doing, right? So I started off my morning with a Trader Joe's event. We did something to try to bring Trader Joe's to the area and had a cool big party out there right off of US 1. And I was like, okay, that's done. And then a couple hours later, I had to drive to Brevard Zoo to do Jazoo, which was wonderful. And I ate a lot of oysters and sang a lot of jazz. Then, it's like, okay, that's done. Then, then to end the night on a beautiful note, it was really cool because I drove through the Arts District to get to Standard Collective, and I just saw an ocean of people and lights at the O'Galley Square, and I heard somebody killing it. And I wanted to stay, but I had to do the after party for the festival at Standard Collective. And we had like a lot of really beautiful acoustic acts, and I just drug my band from Jazoo over to to Standard, and we ended the night, and it was glorious. And I was just really proud of our community for pulling off something like that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, this is really special. It was really beautiful.
And after a pause for the pandemic, we are back for 2021, Saturday, November 6th. The only gig for you that day, as far as I know, are you going to be doing a ribbon cutting at a CVS or anything like that earlier in the day?
No. No, I'm keeping that day clear, besides the obvious obligation that I have that day. But no, I'm not going to do a 3-header that day. I can't do it. I cannot.
And maybe just get a chance to walk around, because, again, this year, 2021, we've expanded it. I didn't know how we did it in 2019 with 68 bands. We've expanded it this year to 85 bands. Now, that's not even taking into account the student bands that are going to be performing. So between the student bands, between some of the bands that for whatever reason couldn't play that day or chose not to, we are looking at over 100 original musical acts. And for me, 2019 was kind of our coming out party, right? I had many people to this day that say, I had no idea that there was that many much original music in the year. There's names on the bill this year that I've never heard of, and I love that. I really do. Who are you looking forward to see if you have the opportunity to?
Well, my thing is, I've heard that there's 85 bands, but I have not heard the names of these 85 bands. So I hope the Speed Spirits are playing. Speed Spirits? The Spring?
The Spring will be playing, actually. I can tell you, I can give you breaking news that the Spring will be playing right before you.
Really? Rock on. Yeah. If you have not heard the Spring, they are killer. I'm really good friends, actually, with Manny, who's the lead singer. We collaborate. Looks like we're going to collaborate on my set as well, which is going to be great. And so, like, he's such a wonderful mind as well as a musician. So there's a lot of mutual respect. I was blessed to do his event earlier this year, Memento. And so, like, I'm just really proud of them, and they really bring something fresh to the area. And like, anytime I get a chance to see them, I am excited to see them. So I'm really thrilled, to get to see them.
Excellent. Yeah, this shout out to the Spring. And just again, 83 more bands on the bill, over 6 stages. It's a free event. The music starts at 11, but we're actually expanding that as well, so that we're actually going to have yoga in the park, which we had in 2019. There's talk of doing a yoga session at dawn. So really, just the situation couldn't be bigger and better, and building up that anticipation, which is what this show is meant to do as well. We're talking with Kristen Warren. We talked about 2019. Let's talk about this year, 2021, and the events that you were part of. Robot Love, let's start.
Wow. All right. He's asking me to think of this morning. Yes, Robot Love. Robot Love is legendary. It really is a very special part of our community. I was fortunate to be a part of the very first Robot Love. back in, I believe, '09 or 2010 or so. And it's really grown into something spectacular. The most ridiculously talented visual artists come out of here. We were just talking about Derek Gores and how he's a genius and how we're so fortunate in our community to just have this brilliant Renaissance man just walking around making great stuff. So yeah, Robot Love was a real honor. That was really, really special. We did the closing night of Robot Love, and Shar performed, and it was just beautiful dancers and crazy art and photography happening that night. Again, just so proud of what we're able to accomplish here.
And I was able to hang out with your son.
Yes.
And I have a child as well who's been around my music, and it's always amazing to kind of look up off of the stage and see their reaction, that they would be literally anywhere else but there.
Right?
It humbles us. It brings us back down to earth.
Completely. He comes along quite a bit, actually. I'm a single mother. And sometimes he just comes along. And there was one time I brought him out to a performance, and I was performing with Ethan Bailey Gould. Shout out to Ethan, who's another genius that's come out of this area. And performing with Ethan, and we're doing one of our regular songs, and I hear a little voice in the crowd say, "You always sing this." And like you said, it's humbling. Keeps you grounded. Can't get too big-headed when you have a kid, because it doesn't matter what you accomplish. To them, you are always parent. That's it. And so I'm so grateful to him for keeping my feet on the ground. But also, it's really a beautiful thing to see how music has shaped his life. And that's the beauty of being a parent who also plays, is that you see how music is so universal, and it's a beautiful way to connect to children.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it's so ingrained into their life because it's all around them.
all the time.
So that when they get older, Sage will be 18 in March, and music is literally all around them.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I had a gig the night before I gave birth to Nolan. So he's literally been hearing music. He's been hearing me sing for a very long time from the womb. So it's awesome.
Has he shown any aspirations to play?
Absolutely. He loves the drums, and he loves like xylophones, anything along keys, piano kind of xylophones are kind of connected like that. And so he's really, really into that. When he was in public school, of course, now we're homeschooling because of this little thing called COVID. When he was in public school, they said the first day of music class, he cried because he was not allowed to touch all of the instruments. And they said, why is he gets very, very passionate in music class. I said, well, I think I know why.
Yeah. He's got your genes.
Yeah.
We're talking with Kristen Warren. This is Serial Keller. I'm your host, Steve Keller. We're actually outside. I'm not trying to ignore the sounds that you hear around us, but it's just part of that anticipation. We're actually sitting on the stage at the O'Galley Arts District Square, the band shell, where in just about 30 days, as this airs, we will this place will transform. And again, you talked about your day in 2019. I think I've told you this story where I didn't sit, but I stood on the street at about 5 a.m. that day, just basically saying, okay, what's going to happen is what's going to happen. It's game time, right?
Yeah.
And what did happen is 4,500 people raising $13,000 for charity. Let's talk about that for a minute. So as far as the...
Stand by.
All right, let's talk about that for a while. The charity aspect of the music festival, buying musical instruments, donating them to schools. What was your musical education like growing up?
Well, I grew up with a lot of, first of all, music influence with my parents. My parents played everything for me: Al Green, Aerosmith, Kate Bush. So that was my first musical education. But then in school, I was very fortunate. You know, I had exposure to learning violin, learning the recorder, which, I mean, wow, who came up with that instrument? And being in choir and things like that. And then, of course, as you get older, you understand that like not everybody has access to those types of things, you know, and it makes you all the more grateful, but also wanting everyone to have access to that because it literally changes the trajectory of your life. Even if you don't aspire to be a musician, there's so much that music can do for you, especially as a child. Kids, I believe, are naturally musical. So it's so crucial, I think, for kids to be exposed to music and I just want every child to have access to, if they want, you know, access to music the way that I had it. So I think, you know, the point of this and doing the charity for giving kids that kind of access and to be able to enjoy music and learn whatever they want. I think that is just so awesome. It's so great that we're able to give back in that way, and it makes it all the more special that I'm able to be a part of that and contribute to that.
Definitely. Well, you will be able to see Kristen Warren and friends and the Brevard All-Star Bands, as we're billing it, as the headliner, going on around 8 o'clock. Someone had asked what time. Going on around 8 p.m. But again, the festivities musically start at 11 a.m. There's 6 stages all across the Arts District, including, I don't know if you know this, but the Groove Shack stage, essentially, which as we're sitting on the bandshell stage will be right there. So there will literally be the school bands, jazz bands, Groove Shack bands. Nyla Lois is going to be headlining that stage before you guys go on.
Wow.
So really front and center to bring it all together, like we've talked about. It's not only raising money for the students, donating those instruments and being done with it. We can actually really see that evolution of them picking up those instruments, practicing those instruments, and performing those songs that they've really tried so hard. So, you were telling me offline about your musical beginnings. What are some of your early memories of performing?
Well, my father's Air Force, retired Air Force now. And so at one point we were stationed in Utah, of all places. And we attended First Baptist Church in Layton, Utah. And I went to school with one of the choir director's daughters. And she came to a school program and she heard me singing in the little kid choir. And she said, well, you need to sing at church. So here I was, 7 years old, which is wild to think of now. 7 years old, and they gave me my own song, and that was my first time performing alone in front of a crowd at the age of 7 in church. And I was so terrified on the way to church. I was so nervous. I remember being just literally shaking in the back seat. But also, I really, really wanted to do it. I wasn't going to turn it down, but I was really nervous. And I think that's how I fell in love with performing and singing in front of audiences. And it just kind of evolved from there, you know. But it did. It started when I was 7. And then I dabbled more in acting for a while. I was in a lot of musicals. And I was fortunate to do some really cool ones locally here, including Lady Day, which was a sold-out show that we did over at the Henniger, all about the life of Billie Holiday, with Pam Harbaugh. Shout out to Pam. But music has always kind of been the center of it all, you know. But yeah, 7 years old in church, and that's when it all began. That was the start of my journey. And it's crazy now to be here.
How important is the songwriting, is the original music as you're getting older, as you're experiencing everything? Jazz has a lot of standards, which is essential in its own right.
Yes.
But you have the original music, and you have the NPR Tiny Desk concert. We talked about that offline as well, which to me, that was just the epitome of everything Brevard, right? It was done at Derek's studio.
Yeah.
The NPR Tiny Desk contest, for those people who don't know, is pretty iconic. And then the contest that they actually have is a winner to appear on the broadcast. What was that day like, especially knowing that you're going to be performing your own song?
Shooting the tiny desk. Woo! Okay, so that day was a lot of fun. So in the morning, I sang background for a friend of mine who also auditioned in Orlando, and then I drove back home. And at 11 o'clock at night, we all met up at Derek's gallery to shoot this thing, and I was exhausted. Everybody's exhausted except for Daniel Timbush. So Daniel is espresso in human form. So he just comes in singing the Family Matters theme and getting us all pumped to do this. Shout out to Feta, Anthony Feta. He was so patient and so helpful. He really is an expert and a visionary. And also to Derek Gores, thank you for letting us use your space. But it was really a beautiful experience to share that particular song, because that song has so much meaning to me. It is such a special song to me. And to put that together and to just kind of present it to the world. We know that a lot of people audition for Tiny Desk. We know that. But to just say, we are here, Melbourne is here. Melbourne is so much more than just a little town in Florida. There's so many gifted people here, and to just kind of put it on the map and say, check us out. It was a really, really special video. And I said to Feta, no matter what happens, that's one of my favorite creations ever.
Where would people be able to, on your Facebook page, if anything less, correct?
Yes. And on YouTube. On YouTube, if you type in my name, Kristen Warren, and you do Kristen Warren Tiny Desk, okay, you'll easily find it.
Excellent. Well, we're talking with Kristen Warren. We are counting down, really, about a month away from the 2021 Space Coast Music Festival, sponsored by Harbor City Local, sponsored by Fleegad Market, sponsored by FM Pizza, Against the Grain. So many great sponsors in the area. And again, with the musicians that we've talked about, with the vendors that'll be here, really a day of just unity. No competition, no, who's on first, who's on last kind of scenario. It's really a great time to be had. It's a free event, and it's just, it's one of those times that it's great to be part of this music scene, part of this community. All right. So we've got a question that we ask all of our guests. Again, the name of the show is Serial Keller. What is your favorite cereal?
Oh man, that's hard. Okay, I consider myself as a 90s kid. Okay, I'm a 90s kid, so it was all about Saturday morning cartoons with your box of cereal, right? So I have a tie: honeycomb and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I will still kill an entire box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch by myself, family size. I will still kill a whole box. But I think those take it. Now, of course, like I have to be like health conscious. So I'm like, oh, fiber one or whatever. No. No. But now favorite, it has to be one of those two. Has to be. All the sugar.
All right. With the exclusive of Kristen Warren's favorite cereal, you heard it here first on Serial Keller. Brings a different dynamic to the title, doesn't it? My name is Steve Keller. You've been listening to Serial Keller. Thank you, Kristen, for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck and Godspeed for the 2021 Space Coast Music Festival. We'll plug it one last time. Saturday, November 6th. At the O'Galley Arts District, where we've been talking this morning, whenever this airs. Thank you to all the semis that were driving by, and the leaf blower guy that started right before we started.
Can't forget the helicopter. Thank you, helicopter. That was great.
But this is organic, right? And again, we're counting down to the music festival. Everybody is welcome. It is an outdoor event, so just come out for a day of goodness, whether it be music, art, community, vending. Fleegad Market is that day as well. So your normal vendors that are out every month for Fleegad will be there as well. A little bit more of the vendors with the size of the event. We actually had an ice cream truck. Do you remember the ice cream truck?
Yes.
In 2019, it was a bus. It's not a truck.
Yes.
It was a bus.
Cosmic.
So.
And that ice cream is awesome. It is awesome. And they put cinnamon toast. They'll put cinnamon toast crunch on.
See how everything ties together?
It's so good.
Well, I know what to get you for your artist rider as you headline. As you headline the music festival. Kristen Warren and her Brevard All-Star Band headlining a festival of 85 local artists. Again, these are all local. These are all originals throughout the day and the evening and the after shows, I'm sure, as well. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you soon. All right. So hopefully you enjoyed the leaf blower, the semis, the major traffic around Eau Gallie Art District.
I will say the highlight for me was the 2 text messages you received.
Yeah. Well, that's part of Kristen and I's new techno band.
Well,
just
good.
random text message alerts.
That's a great name for a band too. It rolls right off the tongue.
It does.
I will say I am proud of you and I applaud you for for prying Cinnamon Toast Crunch out of her. I think that's a great choice.
Yes.
I can tell that we will get along with her splendidly.
And what was the comment about Cinnamon Toast Crunch ice cream? Was that part of the interview, or was that just...
It was part of the interview that we theoretically just listened to together.
Yes.
Yes. She said there was an ice cream company that added Cinnamon Toast Crunch to their ice cream. So that's a good thing. All around we got ice cream, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, porta potties.
Yes.
Anything you could ask for at Fleegad and the... What are we talking about again?
The Space Coast Music Festival.
The Space Coast Music Festival, that's right.
Saturday, November 6th. There's going to be yoga. You're going to come down and do yoga at dawn.
I heard about the yoga. I was excited about that.
Yeah. And then once you're done with your yoga mat, you're going to chuck that and enjoy over 80 local and original bands. I can't stress that enough. Mm-hmm. I know I'm a nerd about it, but honestly...
You are a nerd about it.
You didn't have to agree so quickly.
No, I did.
All of these bands that you're going to be... witnessing play their little hearts out are all from Brevard County, and they're all original music. You're not gonna hear, at least out of the 80 bands performing, you're not gonna hear Freebird, you're not gonna hear Stairway to Heaven, because that would take way too long.
Unless you want to hear Freebird or Stairway to Heaven, you can listen to those on your Walkman.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can go back to your car and turn on the radio for that.
Do they still have Walkmans?
I did.
When I went underground, we had Walkmans. When I came out, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know what year this is. Could you reiterate what year this is?
This is the 2021 Space Coast Music Festival, coming your way from the Eau Gallie Arts District, brought to you by Harbor City Local, Fleegad Market, as we mentioned, FM Pizza, Against the Grain Tattoo, and we appreciate you tuning in. Again, thanks to Kristen Warren for being our guest. Next episode, we will have one of the organizers of the Music Fest, my colleague, Keenan Barley. She is one of the founders of Fleegad Market, and she is one of the driving forces behind the Space Coast Music Festival. So we will talk to you then. And again, thanks for listening. Take care.